And howdy, howdy. Welcome, everybody. Good to see everybody here. You guys are piling in. We already got comments going on. That's awesome. So I'm all you get tonight. Michael is taking a break, and Lindy had car trouble. She's got she's got the AAA coming for her right now. So yeah, I'm what you got. So you're gonna have to listen to me pontificate. Not really. You can tune away too. But how's everybody's Mother's Day going? Happy Mother's Day to all you. And yeah, please feel free to put your questions in the chat because otherwise you're going to just hear me riff for about an hour and nobody wants to hear that. So, but yeah, pop that in there and let me know if you guys have any questions or if you want to chat about anything in particular. And yeah, so how's everybody's Mother's Day? Put in the chat where you guys are tuning in from and what you guys are making for Mother's Day. How you making Mother's Day carnivore? That would be awesome. And but it's good to see you guys. And thanks for spending your Sunday with me. I appreciate it. And Lindy will be back next week. Exactly. Lindy, when is Lindy coming? No joke. I hear you. I'm asking that myself. And let's see here. Yeah, she's not going to make it till her car gets fixed, but so she's not going to make it today. But yeah, next time there's Coach Alyssa. How are you today? How am I today? I'm doing fantastic. I ate too much porterhouse, so I made two cooking videos because you guys keep watching them. I don't know why, but you guys keep watching the cooking videos. So I filmed two more. That is, now I have to edit them, put them together. But that's the spoils of making cooking videos is you have too much awesome, delicious meat left over. So I feel like I'm in a meat coma. I had too much meat. But yeah, having a good week. Happy to spend Sunday with you guys. It's always fun to see everybody. And then let's see here. What do we got? Hi, Todd. Howdy, y'all from Arizona. Burgers and steaks. That's awesome. I do love Arizona, too. I was just there for the Healing Humanity meetup not long ago, and I quite liked the drive through Arizona. That was awesome. I drove from Vegas up to Scottsdale and Phoenix. Man, I really loved that drive. It was beautiful. Let's see. I'm doing what I want today, including no cooking. That's awesome. What, so you're just eating whatever you want, or what are you doing there? I'd love to hear that. Hey, Mom P, good to see you. Hello, everyone from Roseville, California. Had ribeye bacon for lunch today. That's awesome. Let's see. Tuning in from Northern Virginia. I just ate my normal breakfast lunch today and been eating sparingly from the rest of the family. Oh, nice. What do we got here? Hi from Wisconsin. Good to see you. Barbacoa. Oh man, I love barbacoa. That is tasty. I sometimes I wish that is one thing I miss. I miss that marinated carne asada flank steak. That stuff is tasty too. But I think barbacoa is pork. But I do like the carne asada. We're in Wisconsin. Let's see what we got. Hey, Thomas. Thomas is having burger, steak, and ribeye on the way. Oh, that's awesome. And everybody go check out Target Prime Rib. He's got an awesome YouTube channel, and he's growing that thing up. So go check him out. Question, do you think it's better to eat farm seafood with potential microplastics other nasties, but still get the omegas and the benefits? Well, or no seafood at all? You know, that's a good question. I'd love to hear what the audience thinks of that too. I like to stay away from any kind of farm seafood. I'd almost rather fight the what is it, what's the metal that they supposedly get, mercury or whatever in the ocean. I'd almost rather fight that a little bit than the microplastics, because I do feel like the microplastics are causing like a especially in men's testosterone, like a pretty epidemic problem. They think that it's the soy oils and the microplastics that are causing men's testosterone to tank. And so, being that I'm healing my testosterone, I'd rather stay away from the microplastics, I think, to be honest with you. But put in the chat what you guys think. That's kind of interesting. But I think, the only seafood I have is raw salmon, maybe 2 or 3 times a year. I quite enjoy it, but it's hard to get good salmon in Montana. I mean, we're not by any water. So, but yeah, that's a good question for sure. I ate leftover sausage and chicken. Awesome. From McLean, Texas. My husband and son had to fend for themselves on Mother's Day. That's fair. That's way fair. They should have fended for you. I'm from Lipswich, Suffolk, in the UK. Ribeye all the way. Absolutely. Ribeye's delicious. There's Miniwall. Not sure what I'm going to have. Not hungry. That's a common problem on Carnivore. We bought our kids bikes yesterday, and today I rented a bike and rode around with them, but the inclines were killing my knees. I gotcha. And then I rented an e-bike. There you go. There's always a cure. And rode around in it for a big. Proud I biked. Absolutely. For a bit. Proud I biked. Yeah, absolutely. That's awesome. Mata. Let's see. Let's see. What do you like? Let's see. Todd, what do you like better? Steak or steak? Wait for it. Steak. What do you like better? Steak or wait for it steak? Yeah, I got it. Yeah, exactly. Steak. I'll take all 3. I'm good with all 3 of those. For sure, Thomas. Let's see here. Is there also microplastic in wild seafood? I don't think that there's, I don't know. I mean, maybe there is because there's a lot of plastic in the ocean. I really don't know. I know that they're always worried about mercury in the ocean, in those fish that are wild caught. And then they're always worried about microplastics and stuff too. And I think that I think I might have misread Alyssa's message because I thought that the farm raised ones would probably be better because they didn't have microplastics and the mercury in them. But she says farm seafood with potential microplastics. Okay. I thought that they didn't have it in it, but I always thought that the farm stuff was better, but I don't know. It's sad that we have to worry about any of that nonsense. What are they doing? Feeding them microplastics on the farm? That'd be a dirty trick. Let's see. I believe when I first started Carnivore, I had heard of a couple of Carnivore doctors say that once that you're fat adapted, if you have a lot of fat to lose, then then you can probably eat a bit leaner. I don't know. Maybe. I think that if you eat leaner and you eat more, it's probably going to turn into, you're probably going to gain a little bit of fat. I think, and from personal experience, it seems like the more lean I eat, I do put on a lot of muscle when I'm eating lean for sure, but also I think it turns into fat. I think it turns into glucose and stores it. So I don't know. I've definitely put on weight before when I've eaten too lean. I was just going through that a few months ago and just recently started a higher fat diet to trim it down because I just got complacent was eating too lean. Why eat unsalted butter as opposed to salted butter? Well, I mean, for me, I don't eat that much butter. I was tried to, but I just don't have a taste for it. But I don't specifically get away from salt. However, when I started doing dry fasting and became more fat adapted, I lost my taste for salt. And so I don't salt my meat or anything. I don't salt anything on purpose. And in fact, one of the reasons that, I hate to scare all the carnivores, but one of the reasons that I really don't eat bacon anymore is because it's too salty now. It just tastes I just get a salt bomb when I eat bacon now. So I can see that. The longer you do this, I think your taste buds change, and when you become more fat adapt, I think your body is balancing your electrolytes better with metabolic fluid, and I think that when that happens, you kind of lose your taste for salt. So I could see that definitely being a thing. And plus, there's people that just need low salt. Okay, I'm out of sort of that too. Yeah, like I said, their own salt the better for sure. But yeah, I don't know. Put that in the chat. Anybody that's been doing carnivore for a while, have you guys, has your taste for salt changed? Has your taste for any kind of meat changed, like poultry or bacon or pork? Well, I mean bacon or pork in general. And what do you guys? How much seafood do you guys eat? I mean, I'm eating the the cans of cod liver right now, and I can tell you that the omega-3s in those cod livers are doing wonders for inflammation for sure. So let's see here. I'm going to pull that up. Just want to check something out. But yeah, go ahead and put your answers in the chat if you don't mind. I forgot when we were planning this. Oh, I know one thing that I wanted to mention too is that next week we are planning on pushing back the live stream for another hour because now to kind of summer hours because people are staying out longer, and so we noticed that there's more attendance later in the day on these live streams. So we're going to start the live stream an hour later from now on. Let's see here. I do the low sodium bacon from Costco, and it's easier for me to stomach than most bacon. Yeah, I can definitely see that. I know the one you're talking about in the red package for sure. I've had that before too, and it is tasty. I don't mind it at all. I feel like I don't need to salt heavily, but maybe that's because I like the taste of meat on its own more now. Yeah, me too, Hannah. I just started really enjoying the taste of meat. It tastes salty on its own. I eat unsalted butter. Yeah. My body cannot handle chicken or pork shoulder. Yep. I'm on the same boat with you guys for sure. And I forget who was saying that the other day that they noticed they're getting inflammation on chicken. Somebody in the steak and butter gang was saying that. But yeah, for sure. I've been having that same issue. Let's see. That'd be past my bedtime. Well, what the heck, Thomas? I know it's so difficult trying to hit the happy medium, but we tested it out on Friday, Thomas, on our Friday live stream, and people definitely come in about an hour later now because I think everybody's hanging out in the beautiful weather outside now that it's summer. So, like you'll see, the attendance on here will go up the later we get. Sometimes I feel like I want to just eat salt though. Yeah, and I mean, I think that there's times like on very rare occasion, all of a sudden I'll just get a crazy craving for salt. And I'm not at all trying to I have nothing against salt, and I'm not at all trying to stay away from it on purpose. I just found things tasting overly salty now, and I just don't crave it as much. So when I make my own butter, I like it unsalted, but if I buy it, then I like it salted. I gotcha. Yeah, it is interesting because it can enhance a flavor. Like I just did a video and I used a little bit of salt, and first time I did it in a long time, and that was because I was making a fairly large quantity of meat, more than I was going to eat, so I used some salt and white pepper, and it was delicious for sure. I've not been able to eat chicken in the last 2 to 3 months. Have to throw it up. Yeah, I mean, we were just talking about this today, right? So I went to a job site this week, and I got exposed to a bunch of smoke, tobacco smoke, and I haven't smelled that in forever. And a long time ago, I used to smoke myself. I smoked for Marlboro Reds for about 8 years, and I mean, I smoked quite a bit of them. I'd especially if I was playing poker, I'd chain smoke them. And I quit smoking, took up chewing instead, mainly because I had asthmatic problems back then, or reactive airway disease. They said I had, and So I had to quit smoking. I just started chewing to get my nicotine. But I've always loved cigarette smoke. I've always loved the smell of cigarette smoke, the smell of tobacco smoke, smell of cigars, smell of pipe, smoke. They always smelled good to me. But when I got sick here a while back, I just kind of stayed away from it. I started working at home and didn't really get around, the smokers at work. And I realized that I'd been kind of away from it for a while and did carnivore, and I got so much healthier. And then I had to go up to a job site, and I rode up with a smoker, and I smelled the smoke. It made me pretty nauseous as soon as I opened the door of the truck. I was like, oh, this weird is hitting me kind of funny. And then I just had some crazy reactions to it. My lungs were burning, my throat was itchy and tingling and coughing. My heart rate sped up. I felt like lightheaded. I felt like I had a just disoriented. I mean, just all these weird things. And then I started hacking up phlegm and crap from the back of my throat. And I just had this huge allergic reaction to it. And it was so ridiculous and so like extreme. And it lasted the whole hour and a half ride up. And then had to look at the job. And I was huffing and puffing and hacking while I was on the job and coughing and hacking and went all the way down. It got worse. And just smelling the smoke and everything. I had to ride with the window open, was breathing air. And when I got back, I was just sitting here thinking about going, I think that stuff was always having a bad reaction with me. But I think when we are in carnivore, I think we heal up and we get better and our immune system gets stronger. And then it just has a very obvious reaction to us that, and our immune system just goes crazy and starts knocking that stuff out because it's not good for us. Where before we were in such a dulled down sick state that something bad was always happening to us, and we weren't so reactive to it, or at least we didn't know it wasn't on, wasn't right there. And I think a lot of that happens as we heal. I think we find out that things like pork and chicken might not agree with us, that certain spices and things that we had been okay with before, we start to not be okay with them. I mean, that certainly happened with me with Copenhagen. I chewed Copenhagen long cut almost 2 cans a day for last 26 years. And on carnivore, I have my addictive and compulsive nature just went away, and I stopped chewing Copenhagen cold turkey and never looked back. And now, there's just something about my body didn't want in there, like it was just fighting it. And I feel like my body does that with a lot of things now. And it just says, no, thank you. And so we were having this conversation today in SBG about it because, there's some people that would say, well, I don't want to do carnivore if it's going to make me sensitive to things that I want to cheat on or have. And that's one way to look at it. But the other way to look at it would be, it's the same reason that we have pain receptors, is because pain receptors tell us when there's a problem and that we're being exposed to a threat or a danger or something that's harming us, and to, modify our behavior to keep from having it harm us. If you put your hand on a stove and you felt the pain, it's not a bad thing that you feel the pain. It's a good thing that the pain is letting you know that if your hand's on something that's going to, eventually consume your hand, if you just leave it there. So now I look at it that way about chicken and pork and cigarette smoke and all that stuff. It's not that there's something wrong with us. It's there's something very right with us, and that our body's being very responsive and letting us know that stuff's not good for us, and it has an immune response to it. And I think we're better off because of it. I think it's better to know right away what that stuff is and let our body kind of take the wheel, and then we just make sure we don't get exposed to it. Because in the long run, I think that's going to serve a happy, healthy, fruitful life better than basically having a dumbed down immune system where we kind of get to keep our head in the sand and then end up getting surprised by some illness someday. And then the doctors try to tell us that we were, hereditarily predispositioned to get some nonsense, and that it had nothing to do with all the cigarette smoke, sugar, microplastics, seed oils, and all that stuff, because we got so dumbed down. We were just letting that attack happen over and over. So I don't know. That was kind of an interesting little rabbit hole we went down today. that I quite enjoyed that conversation. Let me know in the chat what you guys think. Let's see. I tried freezing ground beef for the first time, and both me and my partner thought that they had mixed liver in there with the different textures. The liver taste was obvious. I got you. Not sure. I tried freezer ground beef for the first time. Both me and my partner thought they had mixed liver in there. It had a different texture. The liver taste was obvious. Huh? I'm not sure what you mean by that. I mean, if you have freeze dried meat, that can, like if you don't have a good vacuum seal bag or something, it can get freezer burn, and that'll definitely change the texture and make it taste funky. Is that what you mean? Yeah, for sure, definitely. The flanking ribs I bought from Costco tasted salty. It's crazy I didn't add anything. Yeah, for sure. 100%. And I think the meat by the bone, from the bone marrow and the minerals in the bone, I think they naturally taste a little bit saltier. Like, I don't know if calcium or potassium or whatever's in the bone, but the meat that's by the bone, like the flanking ribs, definitely have a little bit more salty taste to it, and I find more flavor. Period. Uh, let's see. What was your diet for your weight loss? I mostly buy ground beef, butter, and eggs for budget, but I haven't seen much weight loss over the last month. But I'm also mostly sedentary. So, what was your diet before your weight loss? Well, I don't know if you mean before my recent stall or if you meant like before carnivore. Before carnivore, my diet was mostly energy drinks and soda is what I lived off of, and then I would, like whatever once a day or you know, I don't know. In the morning, it would be you know, like lattes with like 6 shots, 10 shots of espresso in them because I was a caffeine junkie. And then I would, eat real healthy. So I get like 2 of those chocolate covered Kind bars that are supposed, so healthy, just an excuse to eat candy bars for breakfast. And I'd eat like 2 of those Kind bars in the morning, to drink like 2 of these lattes. I did try. I wouldn't usually get the sugar in them because the sugar was so I'd either get fake sugar or whatever. It's not that it was helping. It was all about the caffeine. But then at 10 o'clock in the morning, I would have like a Red Bull. At noon, I'd have like a Monster energy drink. Usually wouldn't eat lunch. But then at like 3, I would have, a couple and, another Red Bull or 2 or whatever. And I'd drink water or usually I drink iced tea, Lipton Pure Leaf, unsweetened iced tea all day long in between all the sugary Red Bull caffeine drinks. And I was just beating myself up with that. And then when I get off work, I'd either go to like Little Caesars and I get a pizza and some crazy bread, or I go to Jimmy John's and I get like one of those giant subs and chips, or just whatever. I'd go eat some kind of fast food garbage, and then just do it all over again. And that was my life. And it was most of the weight came from drinks. It was all the energy drinks and soda that I drink. But if you mean recently, I was really eating too many New York steaks without adding fat because they're very, very lean, as it turns out. They're not even like 0.5 to 1 fat to protein. They're like 0.15 to 1 fat to protein. It's pretty crazy. And that I did gain quite a bit of, because I was eating like 4.5 pounds of lean meat a day. And that was, I did put on quite a bit of muscle on my legs and my arms and my shoulders. So, but I also must have put on some fat somewhere too. But now I'm doing 2.5 to 1, or sorry, 1.5 to 1 fat to protein. And that cut my protein cravings down in less than half. As someone born in the 60s, just about everyone smoked. I was so glad when I could finally get out on my own and away from the cigarette smoke. Yeah, I bet. 4.5 months on carnivore and not having salt much anymore, except butter is salted. Yeah, absolutely. That's awesome. Sick over 10 days now, and last had chicken soup a week ago. Friday, cough, nausea, diarrhea, bone broth. Yesterday, today, my son called. I said, need meat. Ate half small steak. So far, so good. Oh, that's awesome. For sure. That'll treat you better for sure. Eggs sometimes get me for sure. I have a dinner function to attend tomorrow, going to eat steak before I go. Absolutely. Yeah, egg whites get me. I can't do those anymore either, so I've just been doing the yolks. Was focusing on diet to make it simple for discipline, but I also thought diet would see weight drop. Just wanted your thoughts. Okay, yeah. So here's the thing. By just restricting, you really should join the steak and butter gang so we can help you out. But I stalled out. Like you're gonna get some weight loss at first. But then when you do, when your first comment said you hadn't lost weight in a month, and there's so much going on there in that first month, especially on carnivore. And if you're just looking at the scale, we all just want to react to the scale. And what you don't realize is that carnivore is just a totally different animal than any calorie restricting diet you've ever been on. And I think that's why it's the real answer long term to any weight or dieting issues. I don't care if you're dieting to gain weight or lose weight or, get healthy or get rid of, arthritis or try to heal things. I think it's the optimal diet that nourishes our body and then our body can go in there and heal things. And it's the least, it's like the least inflammatory diet you could possibly be on and way of eating you could possibly eat. But the crazy thing is when you're focusing to lose weight, don't just throw away the scale, because the problem is if you are making adjustments and restricting because the scale's not moving and you don't understand what's happening, you could very well be stalled out because you're putting on lean tissue right now, because your body is going to prioritize healing and replacing muscle and replacing bone and calcium and replacing blood cells and quantity of blood in your body and all of these things and myelination on the nerves and fascia and all these things. It's going to heal all of that before it feels real safe to start letting go of weight. And so you might even be putting on weight while you're losing fat, but it's a composition change. But you got to heal first and you got to get nourished first. And so that's what they teach in SBG, which is super handy. So hopefully you're not restricting because of that. And a month stall is nothing. It's absolutely nothing on carnivore. Some stalls can be 6 months, but or more, but that's when the healing really happens. And then right when you get through that, that's when the weight really starts coming off, especially if you're doing the high fat. It was a bit strong. It was a bit strong, but it was passable for me. And when I made up the burgers, 100 grams each, they tasted a bit better. We both had, yeah, for sure. All right. Here we go. Yes, thank you, Aunt B. Let's see. I've not required as much salt versus when I started and I'm keto. Yeah, for sure. I think that does start to come down. I'll be back in a tad, but I am listening. Appreciate it, Aunt B. Todd, I agree with bacon being too salty. Been carnivore 3 years. Leaning more toward pork belly right now. For sure. Yep. I went through that phase too where I was like, man, I'm just going to start eating the pork belly because this stuff's a little bit rough. This reminds me of when I was drinking alcohol every night and most of my diet consisted of frozen pizza and hard seltzer, right? I know, man. I went through those things. Like, yeah, it was either just drinking the calories and then you'd eat like mainly one big meal a day, and it was either frozen pizzas. I did that a bunch, hot pockets. The I was addicted to the Velveeta shells and cheese there for a while because those are super easy, and just eating plastic cheese. I don't know. We're so terrible to ourselves when we're eating that garbage. I lose more weight without added butter, but if I have, again, for Yeah, for butter, by all means, I will indulge in a tablespoon or two. Yeah, I mean, for sure. For sure. For me, what happens if I don't have fat is I tend to eat more lean meat and then I crave more of it. Or if I have the fat, I don't. I don't crave so much lean meat. Hope everyone is thriving. Absolutely, Big Man John is John. You've been looking fantastic in your videos. Everybody, go check out Big Man Alaska and subscribe to his channel. It's he's got an awesome channel. I've had 3 months stall, but I was losing inches all over the body for sure, John. That's exactly what happens. There's so many of these times where you'll gain a little bit of weight, but things are healing. You'll lose a little bit of weight, and you're doing fine. You'll stall out, but inches are coming off. Just sometimes you stall out and inches are coming on. And then you got to make some little adjustments. But the biggest thing is don't let it derail you and talk you into doing something dramatic like doing a calorie restrictive diet or going on a fast you're not ready to go on to that's going to hammer your metabolism and then make you crave carbs or something so that you fall off the wagon and or be in, fight or flight mode and just be stressed out over it. You just kind of got to take the long haul and make small adjustments and just keep going and doing what's sustainable. All right. Rich, Shay, Todd, looking great. Hello, carnivores. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. But yeah, so things are going fantastic though. And love hearing from you guys, seeing you on Sundays. It is kind of funny because the longer I do this, the realization is that there's ebbs and flows and there's ups and downs and little things that are healing and getting better and little things that cause little stalls or whatever. But the longer that I do this, it's just so nice to not have to freak out about any of them, to not be controlled by numbers and the scale and controlled by all this nonsense. That's why I'm not even going to mention the nonsense out there with all the sugar dieting crap that's going on. But there's so many of these people, and I cannot imagine that these same people that are pushing all that nonsense are also saying that carnivore is not sustainable because it's too restrictive, right? That it's a fad diet. And I'm like, there could not be more of a fad diet than the idea of pushing like an extreme sugar diet, a high inflammation diet, and risking, insulin resistance, risking all that inflammation, risking cancer, risking all that disease that comes with all the sugar that we already know, possibly becoming diabetic, or just being in this massive state of inflammation and having, like if I was to have sugar right now, my knee would swell up, my joints would be screaming. And so the idea that that's floating around out there as a sustainable option, and they're calling carnivore extreme and a fad diet, it just blows my mind. It absolutely blows my mind. I'm going on 3 years now, and I've never felt better, and I've never been so consistently free from any kind of eating addictions and compulsive behaviors and eating. Like I don't eat because I'm bored anymore, hardly at all, unless occasionally on a carnivore bar I'll have too many of those and I wonder, am I eating these carnivore bars too much because I'm bored because they're there? But like no real issues, no cravings for sugar or nonsense, and it's so freeing. It's crazy. Let's see. Target prime rib. Hit the like button, everyone. Todd needs to feed his hat. You betcha. And this thing eats a lot, Thomas. Thank you so much. This thing needs a lot. I was able to jump up a 4-foot high wall at work. Couldn't believe it. If you knew where I was 2 years ago. Right, John? I know exactly what you mean. It's so crazy. Like, John, over the winter, I ended up pinching my sciatic nerve in my back. And so I've been doing all these weird exercises. But one of the things that I'm doing now is Turkish get-ups, which sounds crazy, but that's where you use a kettlebell and you get up on the floor and off the floor. And I know I was thinking just the same thing. Just these things 3 years ago were a complete impossibility. It's so funny now. How, just how far we all come and how much the body can heal and how much better things can get. It's just been fantastic. control the population diet. Yeah, for sure. If I ever seen one, that's the one that would do it. Let's see. Definitely was not. It definitely was not freezer burnt. The meat was pretty fresh, but the price was about 30% less than the meat in the refrigerator. So I got you. So you got the frozen hamburger out of the. Okay, I got you. Yeah, so they're cutting your beef with liver. Good lord, that's a nasty trick. I panicked from looking at the scale and tried a slight calorie deficit for 3 days last week, and it just about killed me. Thinking I probably need to hide my scale. Yes, Hannah, definitely hide your scale. That thing, there's no correlation with that thing's not going to tell you anything but nonsense anyhow. Like you don't know if it's fat, fluid, muscle, bone, and you have no idea if your body's doing it for a reason, if you're stressed out. Oh, hey, there's Russ. Hey, Russ, good to see you. Long time no see. Looking good, brother. Have a great stream. Thank you so much, Russ. Everybody go check out Russ's channel, Homesick Buckeye. He does an awesome barbecue keto cookout over there on Tuesdays. Go check him out. That's awesome. Good to see you, Russ. And I'm sure I'll be seeing Russ in November. Hack Your Health. Sure, we'll be hanging out then. Good to see you, Russ. Remember that commercial, help I've fallen and I can't get up? We used to laugh at that. I was 65 and not not laughing now. If I fall, I can't get up. Right, Grey Wolf? No worries. We're aging backwards though. It's coming back for sure. I use my glucose meter to verify I'm eating correctly. Yeah, but even on the short term on glucose can be finicky. It could be because you're eating correctly, or it could be because you're stressed out or had a bad night's sleep, or I mean, there's a lot of things because I mean, we have so many people that start looking at their glucose meter and it drives them a little bit crazy. But if you're not one of those people that obsess too much and you can understand the nuances on them on a daily basis and kind of use the overall averages to guide you, I think it's not a bad thing, but yeah. All right. Hey, Lewis, good to see you. You changed your profile pic. Hey, Todd, the answer is a smart. I forget what the question was. You're going to have to remind me, Rich. Let's see. Thomas. Wish me luck, Todd. Due to tech problems, my interview had to be rescheduled for tomorrow. And my live was great. It had a few people in it. Oh yeah, Thomas, where I was at work and I saw your live, and then I was about to say hi to you, but you had like 9 or 10 people in there, which is Thomas. That's really good numbers for as new as your channel is. So keep up the good work. You're doing just fine. Oh yes, I got you. Smart scale. Yeah, and I mean those can help too. Those can help kind of guide you, but they're also not terribly accurate, but they do give you a baseline. I think you could probably get a baseline and then tell through extreme adjustments. But I don't know. Me and Cranky Carnivore John had a discussion about this, and just from electronic side of things, I just don't. I mean, I know that he's saying that they use higher frequencies and they use attenuation that sends signals through the body, and then it tries to pick up with the handheld ones. Like he agrees that the ones with the feet are not accurate at all, but he thinks that if they send the attenuation through the feet and then up through the hands, but I still don't think that it can account for I think it could get you an average, but I don't think that it's going to account for everything. I think that it's probably using some an algorithm and some algebra to figure out some averages based off of what it did read and kind of guess how much it's missing and then make a general assumption, and then at least that assumption would be static. And so in the future, if there was any variance in the assumption from like the first measurements, you could probably assume that it's fairly accurate, at least in the variation, if that makes sense. That might be true. I don't know. Did a rolling fast, mimicking fast with alternating days of eggs only and meat the next reached another milestone. That's awesome, John. Right on. It looks good. You're looking good, Lewis. Appreciate it. Question. Been carnivore for a short time, started in January 2025. Had a bone DEXA scan and found out I have osteoporosis. I am very stressed out about this. Any stories from other carnivores restoring osteo? Yes, there is. I would go check out Dave Mack's channel, but I have definitely heard of people greatly improving osteoporosis. So I would go check that out, and I would go check out Dave Mack's channel and search osteoporosis for success stories on his. I think he's low carb. What's Dave's channel? Low carb, no carb life. I think it's no carb life. But look up Dave Mack no carb life, and I think you'll see it. And he has tons of interviews with people having different success stories. And I think if you run that in there, you'll find one with Dave. Oh. Only 6. Thank you. Can you have 6? I don't know what you mean, John. Only 6 in the live stream? I definitely saw 9 at one point. It said on YouTube you had in there. But I might be misunderstanding what you're saying, Thomas. I was able to get up and off the floor yesterday without a struggle. I had to clean out my 3.5 cubic foot freezer, send food to my aunts in order. Oh, that's awesome. And you want to make room for the ribeyes I'm going to get cut up. Nice. That's awesome, Miniwog. Good work. I would use a smart scale as an index. Yeah, exactly. Kind of a starting point. And it's the Fonzie, Arthur Fonzarelli. I love it. Happy days. TRT is the best thing for osteoporosis. It helps with bone health. TRT. Huh. There we go. No carb life, Dave Mack. Thank you, John. I knew I was tripping over that. I use a smart scale now, but since it is mine, it is a C student. Exactly. I wouldn't trust a smart scale at all. I bought multiple and they're all over the place. I could get on it 3 hours later and my numbers would be 5% difference. It's worthless in my opinion. Yeah, and that's what I have, that's my belief on it too, because I just there's no way for them to be that accurate, right? It's just kind of I think it's mostly a gimmick. There's so many things that should cause variance, from hydration levels to the hydration in your skin, whether it's conducting through your skin, but the path of least resistance, the amount of electrolytes in your muscle. I mean, just so many things. If you have any impedance in your house, like if you have anything that's canceling out any of the signal other than, even if you're using attenuation, even if you're in your house and there's a Wi-Fi signal or a Bluetooth signal, I would, I know that they're not supposed to, they're supposed to register a certain bandwidth and not supposed to interfere, but that never happens, especially on the cheap ones. There's always something that interferes with it and causes issues. So yeah, I don't know. Sorry, I can only have 6 panelists at a time. You probably saw the chats. Yeah, that's what I meant. I meant the views. You had 9 people in viewing at once when I saw it, and maybe had more. I was just saying those aren't bad numbers. There's a long time it took me to get to 9 views, and I mean it takes time to build an audience for sure. So you're doing just fine. At Target Prime Rib, I think he meant that he had 9. Yeah, live viewers. Exactly, Amada. 2-year carnivore, June 1st, 90 degrees today. First time in a decade my ankle did not swell up as a senior. That's awesome. Okay, I'm all good. I'm happy with it all. I'm grateful. For sure, Thomas, you're doing fantastic. Carnivore is going to dehydrate the hell out of you after a few years, just saying. Carnivore is going to dehydrate the hell out of you after a few years? Well, why would it? I mean, it's been I'm almost 3 years carnivore. I would love to know why it's going to dehydrate me. Subdetermined prime rib. That's awesome, John. Thank you. I joined for a while at Target Prime Rib. It was fun, especially the folks jumping on the screen. That's awesome. Got to help each other out when we can, for sure, Thomas. Good to see you guys. It's kind of a laid back stream. All right. Kind of a laid back stream tonight because of Mother's Day, but it's good to see you guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Yeah. I don't know. Put in the chat if you guys have any big plans for this summer. Oh, also, I know what I'm supposed to do. I'm so bad at doing things. I'm supposed to put this on the screen to the SBG events, and I'm going to present the Montana meetup. So let me know in the chat if you guys are interested in going to the Montana meetup and coming and hanging out with us. So share that. Ba-bam. No, we should do. Oh, geez. I don't know how to do. There we go. That's what I'm trying to do. But come check us out at sbg.events. We are doing a Montana meetup here for the 4th and 5th of July here in Bozeman, Montana, right in my hometown. So far, we got Bella Steak and Butter Gal and Sean Baker and Anthony Chafee and Elle Chafee and Carrie Mann and Dr. Robert Kiltz, myself, plus Lisa Wiederman's coming so far. And also Dr. Phil Smith, Carnivore Ashley from the Carnivore Brothers, Brett from Who's Your Carnivore, and many more coming. And Raymond Nazon from Steak and Butter Gang is also coming. So come and check it out if you guys are interested in tickets. They are going fast now, so check them out up at SBG. There we go, sbg.events, and I'll put that back up because I'm supposed to. I forget to share that. Oh, now I don't know where I am. There I am. This is why I need Michael. I need my tech guy back. I don't know what I'm doing. All right. Let's see. Yes, a meetup in Boston. That'd be fun too. I'd like to check that out. Let's see. Happy Mother's Day to all mamas and care as mamas. That's awesome. Coach Alyssa, tell us a funny story, Todd. Man, dance monkey, dance. All right. Let me think of one. There's so many. Well, all right. I'd love Todd to maybe next year. Yeah, for sure, Thomas. You are definitely welcome, and we're going to do it every year. Exactly, Thomas. I need to be put in the corner. Question: any advice for going on a cruise? I've been carnivore 13 months, and I'm worried about the food. Will they listen to me saying no seed oils, or will this be a bust? So, I don't know what cruise you're going on, but here's all I know about cruises. One, I've never been on one, so take this from a complete pontificating novice here. I'm just going to tell you what I've heard. So Carrie Mann went on a cruise that was just a family vacation cruise, and he tried to eat clean, but he said it really got to him, to be honest with you. He said his depression came back, and it was because no matter what he did, they cooked his stuff in seed oils, and it really did get to him. It was not a good experience for him. And there was nothing clean going on it. However, with that being said, I am going on my first cruise here in November after Hack Your Health. I'm going on Lisa Wiederman's cruise. And that one, Bella and Max were just on the last one. And that one is awesome, which you guys should also go check out because it's a carnivore cruise. So the meat on that one is definitely clean. So I think the answer is if you go on just a standard cruise, no, I don't think you're going to have a good time. I think that you can try to do your best, and I think you're just going to have to probably make do with that, and you're going to have to weigh if the effects of seed oils and things like I don't want to I don't want to burst your bubble, but like I know for certain now, just from like when I was in Texas last year, having a lettuce wrapped burger and watching my knee swell up, to playing with some coffee a few months back and get real irritable and have an inflammation. That there's no way that I would eat a bunch of seed oils because I don't think the pain would be worth it. Like the arthritis and joint pain from getting off course now is brutal. So I wouldn't do it. That's just me. But if you can get away with it and you think you can get back on the horse, maybe you can. But I think if I was going to do cruises, I would really try to find the carnivore cruises because there's a few of them. I think Ken Berry does one. I think there's a low carb keto cruise or something too, or maybe that is Lisa Wiederman's. I don't know. There's a few carnivore cruises, and I just try to get on those. And because the more that we support those, the more of them that they'll have, and it'll give us some options, and it helps get the message out there, and it's a lot of fun. So to be with your own tribe. So I'll be there. Looking forward to the trip. It's been years since I've been to Montana. That's awesome, Sarah. I can't wait to meet you. All right. I know. I absolutely put myself backstage. I Michaeled myself, Thomas. Wow, that's crazy comment. Dehydrated? Todd, tell him about Maggie and her 65 years of being carnivore. Right, no joke, Rich. I mean, yeah, I mean, shoot, I just know so many. Like I'm going on 3 years and I'm just a pup still, like Raymond and Bella doing 6 and 7 years, and Sean doing like 8 or 9 years, and Maggie exactly doing 65 years, Kelly Hogan doing like 15, 16 years or whatever it is. Like, yeah, why would we get dehydrated? Like, it makes no sense to me. Lewis, I just got back from a 14-day cruise. That's awesome, Lewis. Tell me, how was the food? I mean, what did you think of it? Did you have any issues with it or seed oils? Yeah, that's awesome. Absolutely. You can't escape the cooking oils. I'm fortunate to not be affected by them and felt okay. I ate well, lots of meat options. My 14-day average glucose was 95 and I lost a little under. Yeah, so that's awesome. Well, that's fantastic, Lewis. Yeah. If I could get away with it, I would probably eat some seed oils for a while. They just really do not like me at all. I call my trip a success. Absolutely, Lewis. That's awesome. Yeah, so I guess it really just depends on your metabolic health and where you're at, if you can deal with it or not. And and especially, do you have any eating disorders or anything? Is it going to stall you out? Can you be around that kind of temptation or not? Because it's definitely not worth a spin out if you're worried about that. But if you feel comfortable, yeah, that'd be interesting too. That's one of the reasons I'm on keto, that I avoid osteoporosis. Dr. Ken Berry has a good video on comparing hip fracture incidents, comparing vegans versus meat eaters. Hip fractures are pretty serious for sure. Uh, that is good, Lewis. Glad I didn't do much damage to you and had fun. That's awesome. Thanks, Todd. I'll do my best. Not until March. We'll be okay with it. Yeah, for sure. I pray you do too. Alyssa, you had to survive off of either one of these two meats for a week. Which would you choose? Snake or bat? If I had to survive off of one or two foods, I would fast for the rest of my life, and I would make the snakes eat the bats, and then I would turn the snakes into boots. Good lord, that sounds like a nightmare if I ever. Alyssa's only saying that because she knows that I absolutely hate snakes and bats, and they are what my nightmares are made out of. And so Alyssa is giving me a hard time, but it did not go unnoticed. Snake, rattlesnake is delicious. I don't know. I ate rattlesnake in Colorado once, and it was gross. It was gross. I did not like it. Blah. Rather eat bull testicles. Haven't had seed oils for many years. I haven't gone out to eat in years for sure. Yeah. and you can smell them now. You open a door, and you're like, why does it smell like rotten butt in here? It's like, oh, it's the seed oils. I ran 2 half marathons as a vegan, and I think it was only by pure luck that I didn't end up with stress fractures. Oh, wow. I didn't know I have Alyssa. I have Alyssa. People have called me a snake in the grass, and they called me fatty. That's funny. I'd say either or they're both delicious. Ugh. Good Lord. I don't know. Oh, man. Do you agree, Michael? Just keep away from sugar and stick to the meat. Absolutely, Michelle. I did eat vegetables on the trip. Broccoli didn't give me type 2 by, yeah, for sure. Laughing at Thomas. Snakes rattle you up. All right. And remember, everyone who works on the ship wants to make you happy. So just tell them what you want. Oh, that's awesome. Well, that's cool. I can't wait to see what the trip is like here in at Hack Your Health in November. And from what I hear, the food's pretty good and pretty clean. So that's going to be awesome. Question: do you get pushback from family on what you do about it, and what do you do about it? Is it hard to make drastic changes without the support because they will still want you to make normal food for them? Hi from West Australia, I guess. Um, so my family, I was in charge of the food, but because I take care of my mom, but she eats junk, and I tried to be in charge of the food until she fought me on it. But when I was first doing it, I had to, I had to just kind of have my own food area that I designated, and I just knew what I was eating, and then I would make sure that I was fed before I would make food for mom or whatever, and I would that way I just wasn't weak, So that's what I had to do at first. Now I don't care. I'm free from it, and it doesn't bother me at all. Like mom's she's got Parkinson's and dementia, and she's just kind of given up, I think. But anyway, uh, she wants to eat what she wants to eat, and she's not eating enough because she's got gastric bypass and she's struggling with it. So I let her eat whatever she wants now because there's no sense in fighting her on it. And so there's pie in the kitchen right now, and I was just out there getting my waters, and I was just thinking about that there's just no temptation. But there is at first. And I know that a bunch of people like Alyssa and, Lindy and all these people that have to make food for their family. Lindy, she just makes what she wants, and then she makes her husband make anything different. So she makes the meat, and then her husband has to cook, whatever that he wants, if he wants anything different. So he just ended up just eating the meat. But with kids and stuff, I know Alyssa makes her kids, all sorts of different foods and tries to make them as healthy and as carnivore as possible. But there's still some stuff in there, and mainly in too, because she's got a lot of histamine issues and stuff. And so I think that the longer you do it, and you got to have a pretty strong why. But I think the longer you do it, and if you make sure you eat so that you're not hungry when you're doing it, I think that you can stand a good chance. And as far as the pushback from them, I know that some people struggle with that. It wasn't something that I had to struggle with because I was so sick when I did this that, for somebody to argue for me to not be carnivore would also be literally the same thing as them arguing for me to just kill myself with food, because that's what was happening before. So, being that it was a life or death thing, and everybody can see that I'm exponentially better, nobody fights me on it. So, I think that the best thing you can do is probably let them know that, you're trying to save your life or heal a very serious condition. And this isn't just a weight loss fad. This is about health and healing. And yeah, I don't know. Love to hear from everybody in the chat what you guys think. Dehydration is due to the insulin resistance, in my opinion, my humble opinion. Yeah, absolutely, for sure. Question: what should my protein fat ratio look like each day? 50-year-old woman, 5'3", 169 pounds, almost 2-year carnivore. Thank you. I wish there was a calculator that I could answer that question, but the honest to God truth is the only person that can answer that question is you. There are some starting points that we can point you to, like, a gram of protein per pound of desired weight, and to get that in, and then to start to adjust the fat. And I would say, I don't think anybody should have under a 1-to-1. So for every gram of protein you eat, you should eat, a gram of fat. So you should probably be eating, you say you're 169 pounds. You can figure that however you want. But let's say you're just, I don't know if you're trying to lose weight or gain weight or maintain. But I would say that you want at least 150 grams protein. And so that means you're going to want to eat at least 150 grams of fat. And if you wanted to go to a 2-to-1, you'd have to eat 300 grams of fat. And so somewhere in that range is going to be what's right for you. And I would start at a 1-to-1 ratio, kind of measure it out, and then start adjusting it from there. Add a little bit more fat, and then see if you get diarrhea or have any negative issues with it. But that would be a good place to start, in my humble opinion. One of the symptoms of diabetes is thirst. Oh, wow. That makes sense. No worries. Thank you so much. Well, I appreciate you guys hanging out with us for Mother's Day. And then Lindy will be back next week. And then hopefully when Michael's caught up on his work, Michael will be back here shortly. And because I know that everybody's wanting to say hi to Michael and see him. So hopefully they get back here soon. But I appreciate it. Next week, we'll be starting an hour later for the summer hours. We appreciate you guys. Happy Mother's Day. Thanks for hanging out with us. We love you, and we will see you next time.